but the one I wanted to pick your brain on first is bringing in Texas tight end Gunnar Helm. And what's really cool about that one is it doesn't count toward their top 30, right? Another limited, kind of like we explained to people when we were at the combine. You only had so many formal meetings that teams can hold at the combine. You only have so many top 30 visits. Anyway, doesn't count as a top 30 because he's a local. Gunnar Helm, your thoughts?
This is a guy, speaking of the combine, that was pretty panned across the board because of the 40 he ran. But after the fact, it came out that he had a pretty badly swollen, sprained ankle, whatever it was, Chad. So I'll give him some grace there. His tape looks pretty good. Looks like someone that Sean Payton can mold as kind of a two-way player. Not a guy you consider in the first or second round, but a guy that you might file away for the middle rounds. And listen, they don't have that urgency anymore to, have to have a tight end at 20 or in the second round because you signed Evan Ingram. Having Helm learn under Ingram for a year or so wouldn't be the worst case scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was kind of good and bad for Gunnar Helm that he had that tweak that rolled his ankle running the 40 on his first attempt, because on the surface, you'd think, oh, it hurt his draft stock because everybody knows he rolled his ankle. He ran a slower 40 time than expected and didn't look as good in the position drills and whatnot. But some teams really loved that he still had the stones after injuring himself to go out and run the 40 in such a high stakes environment. It would have been easy. I would say, Zach, most prospects, justifiably so, would have been like, no, I'm not testing. I just tweaked my ankle. See you at my pro day type thing. But he's like, no, I'm going to go for it. And I think that might have endeared him to a few teams. And it would seem that the Broncos are one of them, because this is now the second time they've met up with Gunnar Helm, who hails, of course, from Denver, grew up a Broncos fan, former star of Cherry Hills High School.